Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's just two movies.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies.
It's only the two.
My name is Daniel King, and I do not actually have a speech impediment. But with me today is repeat offender Little Corey.
What's up?
He's just a regular sized man, though.
I'd like to go full-sized, but...
Full size Corey, yeah.
Average is all right.
Yeah, that's good. What you been up to, brother?
Making music, making babies, and working.
Yeah. All right, nice.
That's my whole life.
Do you have you can plug something up front, and we'll come back to it at the end. Do you have can people check out your stuff?
All of my stuff is on Bandcamp, so if you want to look up God-Sized and Growing on bandcamp.com, it's all there. But I did just get a song up on Apple Music, so look up God-Sized and Growing on Apple Music. Look for the song Father's Day. That's brand new. Cool.
Yeah, man, that sounds awesome. So, for the listeners out there, if you're not familiar with the show, what happens is me and one of my friends sit down and we both watch a good movie separately at some point during the week. We take notes on it, and then we come here and we talk about it, and we have a couple of drinks, and then we go have a couple of more drinks, and we watch a bad movie that has something in common with it, and then we'll talk about that for a spell. Yeah, so normally the trade-off here is first-time guest. The first time you were on the show, you got to pick a movie. And what was your pick?
That was The Dark Knight.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, Dark Knight and Catwoman. That's the one.
Right.
Never forget that basketball game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we did that. As is customary, we kind of flip-flop it, and then I picked the movie, and I picked John Dies at the End. This is one of my favorite, just bizarre, fucking really strange movies. I've never read the book. It is on my reading list. It has been for years. If you listen to the show, you know I just don't get a whole lot of time to read. It takes me forever to read a very small amount of stuff.
Same.
Yeah. But I like dense stuff usually. And I've always wanted to read this book because I love the movie so much. John Dies at the End is a 2012 horror sci-fi film, hour 40 runtime. 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 70 on Just Watch, whatever that is. All right, I think this is directed by Don Corsorelli. Coscarelli? It doesn't matter. Anyway, that guy. It's done really well, though. I'd sing his praise. I'll look up a pronunciation guide here shortly. You'd think I would have done that beforehand. Budget for this was less than $1 million, and what did it make in the box office?
$141,951.
As so often happens, some of the best weird fucking movies, in my opinion, like something you haven't seen before, something that's not a cookie cutter story that you're already familiar with.
Right. And this isn't that.
No, it's not that. Yeah, but oftentimes they just don't do well in the box office, which is a real shame.
You hate to see it.
This stars Chase Williamson, Paul Giamatti, Rob Mays, Clancy Brown, Doug Jones, Glenn Thurman, and I didn't know she had such a difficult name. Fabienne Threes. Close enough. She plays Amy, so I will refer to her henceforth as Amy.
I had a feeling isn't she really the only female character?
What we can get into that.
Okay.
No, but yes, because there's the other girl, but it's not a girl; it's a demon. Like John and Dave perceive her differently.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. So before we really dive into anything, if you had to tell somebody what this movie was about without going into any spoilers at all, what would you say is the overarching what is this?
Ah, man. Yeah, Jesus Christ. So it's these two dudes. I really don't know how, without spoiling stuff, because I feel like every little thing, every little detail
is kind of
it's important.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's also put out in a very silly way. So you would kind of think I don't know, they're just trying to be goofy, they're just trying to be funny, but
Right. It's almost a hero's journey, but once they pass the threshold, they never really come back to the real world.
right.
So it's just stuck in that whole section of story without having anything else to go off of. Anyway, let's fucking talk about this for a minute. These two guys, they get a hold of some drug, and it's called the sauce.
The soy sauce.
The soy sauce. It fucking taps them into different dimensions, alternate possibilities. They can see, for all intents and purposes, the future and communicate with monsters from different dimensions and spirits and all this other shit.
I was going to say spirits, but I didn't want to be wrong.
Yeah, no,
So.
I think it's all that stuff. My favorite, one of the big things I really like about this movie is right up front when it's just black screen and he's like answering the following riddle will uncover the mysteries of the universe, and then he tells it's called Theseus's ship. Is that what that idea is? What
that first riddle is based on?
Yeah, but he says
Gotcha.
he's like, one winter day you're cutting off a dude's head with an axe, and then it's fine. He was already dead, and then you break the handle. So you go to the hardware store and you get a replacement handle, and you get your axe rehandled, and then next year you have to use it again, chopping a monster, and then you chip the blade. So you go back to the hardware store and you get a new blade. He's like, is it the same axe? It's the same thing with Theseus' ship. It's a boat, sits in a harbor. It's a big famous ship. Slowly, over 100 years, they have to individually replace every board on the ship.
Right. So
is it still the same ship?
Man, the funniest part about that first little riddle is every time that he goes to the hardware store and he has to explain away. I think the first thing is, he says, explain away the red stain is barbecue sauce.
Yeah, it's barbecue sauce or whatever.
But whenever it shows the clerk, he's always just like, I don't care. He's just like making this face like,
yeah,
you don't have to give me all that information.
Right. So essentially, this whole movie is it's like a buddy adventure. You've got Dave and you've got John, and they're buddies, and they both get on this soy sauce or whatever, and they are flung into adventure. Essentially.
Pretty much.
But they already kind of have an understanding of this stuff going into it. It seems like they were just into the occult or, whatever, spiritualism or whatever.
See, I didn't get that, so...
Well, because they kind of knew about it when John called him and he had, secret code over the phone. He's like, when he says, the Queen's raincoat is mighty blustery. He goes, that means bring tacos or whatever he said to him.
Yeah.
So these guys are flung into adventure. Stuff happens and they wind up saving the world. That's the whole movie. So that being said, no other full spoilers moving forward. But what I want to know is, what were some of your favorite parts?
Well, first, I mean, it's really early in the movie, but obviously they're in the basement. The girl, she turns into fucking snakes.
Yeah.
John, he's trying to get out. He runs up the stairs and he goes to grab the door, and it just turns into a massive cock and balls.
Yeah.
And then he backs up and he just exclaims, "That door cannot be open."
Right. I guess you have to jerk off a dick doorknob wall.
I mean, there's got to be a window in there somewhere, right?
That's a basement. It might be one of those little tiny windows.
That's what I'm hoping for. You can crawl through that. They look fit.
You think so?
Oh
yeah. Those two guys probably.
Especially John.
Yeah. Oh,
Especially John.
Yeah, no, that was great. A couple of things I've got here. The girl and the meat golem.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was a good bit.
The fact that his head was just a full turkey,
just a brain. That they open the deep freeze and they're like, guy must have been a hunter, and there's just a human brain in there.
I didn't even fucking see that.
Yeah, it's
really?
just sitting on top. The brain is,
because I see you see the, what is it, like ribs or whatever that's on top, but yeah, I never saw. I just saw ribs and sausages.
So. I really like the B story with Paul Giamatti. I really like that.
I just love Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, I do
really
too.
do.
He's great in this though.
He is.
Like, you can tell Paul Giamatti didn't phone shit in.
No.
He got in on this weird ass fucking movie and he's like, hold on, you want me to what?
And he was down.
And was just like, oh fuck, this is gonna be brilliant. This is gonna be brilliant.
Well, I will say for Paul Giamatti, I don't know if this is, I guess, a hot take. Lady in the Water, That is one of my favorite movies that he is in.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen that.
Really?
No.
Everybody shits on it. I don't know why. Like, out of the M. Night Shyamalan movies, like
Lady in the Water, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking weird too. But yeah, he just plays like just really like dramatic role. He's fucking great.
I don't actually mind a bunch of M. Night Shyamalan's films. The only problem that I really have with most of them is that he's trying to make it a twist. It just doesn't have to be one.
Right. And,
you know what I mean?
agree
Like
with
the
that.
story's still valid without it being like The Happening, like the trees emit a fucking chemical that kills people or whatever. That's crazy.
That's just a cool plot.
That's a
let it
good
be
premise.
that.
Yeah, let it do that. But this, on the other hand, is let's do everything. Let's do all of it. There's fucking cool practical effect monsters.
Right.
I would say if I had one knock on the entire movie, it would probably be that I wish the budget for the effects was higher.
Yeah.
But now that I say that, they're fun to watch. They don't look necessarily convincing, like the little worm monster or whatever that he stomps on. It doesn't look necessarily convincing, but it is a neat, like, it's like, get it.
Yeah. And I mean, they also kind of like do a thing. So, and I'm going super forward. I don't know if I should.
No, that's okay. You're fine. Just talk about your favorite parts, man. Ain't no biggie.
Whenever John and Dave get to whatever dimension where everyone's just got their tits out, that's just, I don't know why, that's the thing that's happening.
Yeah, he describes it as eyes wide shut world, which is it's pretty on the nose.
Right. They show them where what is it? What did he say? Like the people that need to be, I don't know, basically whoever's not falling in line.
Right.
They throw them into this pit and these fucking gigantic monster spiders come out. And instead of just, trying to do the effects, they're like, we'll show it to you in a way it's called cartoons. And they just animate it.
It's the Inquisition, but with man-eating spiders.
Dude, oh my god, that shit was crazy. Because there's kids in there, and there's a baby doll, and that fucked my world up. But that was great. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
But that's a good way to get out of having to do like crazy effects.
Like, hey, you know what? We got an animation studio owes us a favor, or whatever the circumstance is. Maybe they deliberately purchased an animation studio to make that, which is fucking fantastic.
Right.
Or it may be canonical to the book. I don't know. That they showed him a cartoon.
Which I didn't even know that it was a book at first.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I know, like, a long time ago, I've heard, basically just people, I guess, in our little friend group talk about this movie. And I've tried to, like, look it up a couple times. And at first I thought it was a series, and that I was going to be watching seasons, so I guess I didn't sit down to actually do it.
Yeah.
But once I realized it's just, it's this movie and there are books.
By the way, it's a novel by Jason Pargin.
Who goes by a pen name David Wong?
I suppose.
I was wondering about that, because main character David Wong, and then the person who writes the books is
David Wong. Yeah, I suppose. I don't actually know. Haven't read the book. Couldn't tell you. But it does make me want to read the book.
Same.
Because it is just a fascinating, fucking insane story.
It really is. Because, like, just going through it, I couldn't get bored. Like, it doesn't let you. There's always, like, a new thing that you're like, what the fuck?
No, when that dude just shows up after all right, so Dave inadvertently stabs himself with the soy sauce on accident. He's got it in a syringe in his pocket. And he slams on the brakes real hard or something, and it gets him right in the leg.
Which I don't understand, because whenever he took it from John, he put the cap on it.
Yeah.
So I guess what? It just fucking slips out in your pocket?
Came out of the cap and stabbed him? I have no idea.
I'll take that.
Anyway, whatever. He's got a needle in his pocket and accidentally stabs him. He gets the soy sauce in him, and now he's like all spirit world. Monsters from different dimensions and shit. It's pretty great. It's super fucking weird.
Very.
But after he gets stuck with it, and that dude just shows up in the back of his truck, the Roger North.
Yep.
Congratulations.
The thing he said about the masturbation fucking cracked me up. He's like, I watched a guy masturbate until he bled. Did he want to do that? And I'm just like, shit. Like,
it's fucking weird, man.
These are some heavy ass questions, brother.
Right. There's really great dialogue in this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everybody that's in the cast is really putting in an A+ effort.
Especially,
It's coming across great.
I think his name, what the fuck is his name? Justin White. He's...
Oh, yeah, the guy that plays Justin White?
Yeah. Like, I've went to school, maybe I'm still going to school, I don't know how you want to play that, with so many of those guys. And he nailed that. Yeah, that's played by Johnny Weston. Johnny Weston. Why does that sound familiar? That sounds very familiar.
I don't know. He doesn't look like anybody I've seen in anything else.
I'm gonna look it up.
I like the inclusion of the girl that hasn't, like, her hand was amputated.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a hand, so she wears a prosthetic. I like the inclusion that towards the end of the movie, they need her to open a special door.
Right.
Because she has, like, a phantom.
Right. It's a ghost door.
Yeah.
So you need a phantom limb.
Yeah.
To turn.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was neat. That was neat shit. Was there anything that you didn't care for about, like, was there anything you could knock it on?
I mean, not really, no.
I wish the effects looked better, but, I mean, you got a budget, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
At a certain point, I still liked it, though. Yeah. I just wish it looked better, because I think more people would have checked this movie out when it came out.
Right.
If it looked a little sharper.
Every comment I see about this movie is... This is one of the most underrated movies. Underrated.
Yeah.
And after watching it, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun and fucking weird, and I've never seen anything else like it. It's great. This is probably one of my top 10 favorite movies ever.
I wish there was more Paul G, though.
Yeah.
Just because I love him.
He had a cool story, though.
Yes, he did.
And he was actually in it quite a bit.
Right. I don't know. I want to see him doing more stuff, but I mean, him and his dialogue is just fine.
Right.
Like he doesn't really need to do much else to keep you in it. So
exactly. I tell you what, I really had a blast with the bit where Dave is in the police station.
Yes. Oh, okay.
And
so you're getting to one of my favorite parts.
And there's like another big cop in the room.
Yes.
And then the main cop leaves the room. He comes back in and he tells him John's dead.
Right.
John doesn't... here's my biggest spoiler. John dies at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Not at the end.
Now, when they kind of Tarantino you, so I guess, yeah, in the beginning of the movie, yeah, he dies.
The beginning of the chronological story of Dave.
Right.
Not of John, because John had a different...
A whole fucking thing.
It would have been too wild to follow if the story was told from John's perspective.
Which is saying something, because it's already wild as fuck.
Yeah, it's super weird. It's super out there.
Because, I mean, there's a point where John, being dead, calls Dave on his broken-ass phone, which I guess he doesn't realize is broken when he first answers the call.
Yeah, and he's like, get a bratwurst.
Exactly.
Get a bratwurst at the hot dog cart or whatever. He gets a bratwurst. He's like, put the bratwurst up to your ear. and then he's just talking to him on the bratwurst. It's like, oh, man, I'm out of cash. Bratwurst was $6. Fucking bratwurst was $6? Or whatever he says. Oh, man. All right, check between the sausage and the bun. Should be $100 bill rolled up in there.
It's just a piece of lettuce.
It's great, man. The comedy in this is just right in the pocket for me. This is the kind of comedy and pace that I like. Where it's like you said, it doesn't give you time to be bored because there is fun happening from the time the credits get in. It kind of pulls you in right away, and then it's just crazy and hilarious the rest of the time.
Yeah, they always have something else to introduce that, you'll say what the fuck to, or, laugh at or whatever. Because one of the things I did, you were talking about how they were in the, the police station and there's that big dude. Well, obviously whenever the main cop leaves, the one who's actually interrogating him, that's he realizes that guy's a ghost.
Yeah.
He comes over and tries to beat the fuck out of him, which I love
his mustache.
Yeah.
His mustache peels off his face.
By
starts
itself.
Flying around the room like a bat. and then it's attacking Dave and like trying to adhere itself to his upper lip. It's fucking cracking me up, man.
Like, I love that that's the attack.
Yeah, right.
Go mustache.
They're like,
go.
all right, all of a sudden, just so you know, could happen, but let's not take ourselves too seriously, you know.
Oh, Jesus. And then after that, that's whenever he gets outside, he gets the bratwurst and they're all talking. Mm-hmm. And that's two things, one right after the other, that like kept me in it, because I'm sitting there watching them fight. I was like, okay, so, you know, this is something that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then his fucking mustache starts to fly off. And I'm like, dude, okay, now this is something else.
Yeah, it's wild. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this movie. This is probably like my 15th watch.
Really?
I haven't seen it in several years at this point, but this really is like one of my favorite movies ever. I liked the inclusion of like how they go about saving the world is there's a parasite, like a parasitic organism,
right?
That's like a swarm of flies or whatever, and they go into a host. They stay in the host for so long, it lays eggs, and then they can spread to other people and so on and so on.
Right.
But it's like a planet-killing thing, and they find it before it's ever more than one. So that's just it. That's how they save the world. They fucking killed one alien.
What timing? What perfect timing.
Right. Yeah, it's fantastic. But they do a good job of making it a good scene. Like all that's good, fun, interesting,
right.
Interesting to watch. And I thought the guy that played Justin White or whatever his name was, the
he's a bro.
He's broing down real hard.
Yeah,
he's broing down real hard. He's like, hey, what's up? You pulling up on me with that 9, motherfucker? That's his whole thing. But he's just like a blonde kid with curly hair.
Right. Sweet flat bill hat.
He does have a pretty sweet flat bill hat.
If I can bring something up.
Oh, no. Please do.
John's band.
Three Arm Sally?
Their fucking song is incredible. Okay, so in the verse, what is he saying? Camel Holocaust? Like in between everything?
Says, that's what I'm hearing. I never really read too much into it because I'm like, nah.
Oh, I just loved it. Because, I mean, I was hearing fucking random-ass lyrics, and I was like, well, for one, the entire crowd in front of him is loving it.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I feel like if you did that at one of the shows...
What would you call that? Is that like thrash punk, I guess?
There's definitely... Yeah,
Kinda
probably.
In that wheelhouse, anyway.
I think all three of the front people were thrash punk, while the drummer in the back was more like contemporary something.
Okay,
he should not have been there at all.
Yeah, it was a weird bit in the movie.
Yeah.
I like the dog that they got in this movie.
Barkley.
What a great dog, and what a great dog name, Barkley.
Right. And that's his actual name.
Yeah.
Like I saw it in the credits. It says
Bruce
him
Lee,
as himself.
Like Bruce Lee, but Barkley. Because it's 2 words.
And he's just as
and
badass.
And also Barkley, like Charles Barkley. And also Bark because he's a dog. Maybe his middle name is Lee.
Layers.
So many layers.
Fucking
many layers to that dog name. It's
you
great.
have to be an intellectual.
He was great in the movie, though. So the dog gets some of the soy sauce or whatever. And it actually turns out that the dog saves the world.
Yeah. By making a sacrifice. The ultimate sacrifice.
Right. Yeah.
That's a good boy.
Yeah, he is a good boy. He is a real good boy.
Did you see what they put on his grave? Mankind's best friend.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was good stuff, man. I loved all that. So, if you could rate this out of interdimensional meat thumb doorknobs, how many interdimensional meat thumb doorknobs would you give this out of 10 interdimensional meat thumb doorknobs?
I would probably have to go 7.5.
7.5?
7.5, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give it 9.5. Like I said, this is one of my favorite movies.
Which I expected.
It's missing a little something, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. It might be that it's a little too short. Like it could deal with an extra 15 minutes.
Right.
to flesh some stuff out more, pun intended, like the meat monster.
Right. Fucking killing it.
Woo! Just crushing it right now on the dad scale. I'm like 9 out of 10 dads right now.
Oh my god.
Flesh it out.
That's
Get
too
outta
many
here.
dads.
So much grass to cut.
And New Balance shoes too.
Got a big day tomorrow.
Where?
80% thumbs. Yeah, that's 80% thumbs on that one.
That's my favorite.
So that's just fine. I don't know if that'll put it. I don't know if that'll put it in the running for best movies we've seen this year, because we're at the halfway mark now.
Yeah.
Actually, we're a little past the halfway mark because we started our show in November. So like Thanksgiving is our marker for it's been a year.
You got something planned? You gonna do a thing?
We're gonna do the Low Fill Awards.
The Low Fill?
Yeah, and it's just an awards ceremony where we talk about the best stuff we saw this year, whether it was good or bad, or nominated for a dumb fucking thing.
For a Webby.
Yeah. I would like to nominate John Dies at the End for most charming practical effects.
Ooh.
I think of the good movies that I've seen anyway. But it does leave me a little bit wanting. One thing that I don't know will leave me wanting is Uninvited, which is an old movie about a cat monster, I think. So there's monsters in it. That's the common...
Did you say a cat monster?
It's like a cat monster.
Okay. Well, what's funny is like this is the first time you're informing me of what movie it is.
Yeah, so you're just finding out.
I'm getting it just like the listeners. Yeah.
Buckle up. This is one of the reasons that I found this movie. I wanted to do something with monsters so we could do this movie as a bad movie. I've never seen it, but it's been recommended to me by 2 people. And one of them's been on the show before, and he's like, man, you guys really got to do that. And we hope to have him back on. But I do want to do the movie. So
I'm stoked.
We're going to go watch it. I think it's going to be awful, but in a really delightful way. So enjoy a thing that I made out of my free time for your enjoyment and for structure, not because I want to. Special thanks to Brad Sexton for our jams. Please check out his latest project at suns.bandcamp.com. That is sunds.bandcamp.com. Thanks to Lamplighter Productions for our artwork. Please check out more of their stuff on Instagram at lamplighter_productions_IL. First time listener, we're anywhere podcasts are found. But if you don't subscribe to any of those services, listen to the show for free on our website. It's just the number 2, movies.buzzsprout.com. That's it's just 2movies.buzzsprout.com. Want to get in touch with the show? Email us at itsjust2movies@gmail.com or find us on Twitter or Instagram at itsjust2movies. Want to support the show? Great. Leave a like, comment, or subscribe on whatever platform tickles your fancy. So anyway, back to the show. We're back. We watched Uninvited. It was something else. Uninvited is a 1988 horror sci-fi film, runtime hour 32, pretty breezy.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest. It's got a 4.3 out of 10 on IMDb, 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. Don't know what it's got on Meta. Directed by Graydon Clark, screenplay by Graydon Clark, produced by Graydon Clark, music compilation by Dan Slider. Way to go, Dan.
Right.
Stars George Kennedy, Clue Gulager. Jesus Christ, what? Why? Graydon Clark, Tony Hudson, Alex Cord, Claire Carey, and Sherry Cetrick.
Wait a minute. Did you say that the director, writer, producer also acted in it?
No.
Are you sure?
No. Oh, yeah. It looks like Graydon Clark is also in it.
Oh, God. Who is he?
Oh, he's the guy wearing the mouth prosthesis.
Oh, really? So he was... Okay.
Yeah.
So he was the best guy.
The best character in the movie. So if you had to... gun to your head, you had to tell somebody else what this movie's about, what would you say Uninvited is about?
All right, so there's these 2 ladies. They're wearing terribly ripped up clothes, but apparently on purpose. And then they go to a hotel and they fucking argue with a guy. A rich guy sees him and takes him on a boat where there's a deadly cat.
Well, the cat's like an escaped experiment cat.
Like a genetically engineered type
that won't
thing.
ever shut the fuck up. Like, it just meows constantly.
But you never see its mouth move.
You never see its mouth
Not
move.
once, no.
No, not a one time. And it also has a more violent cat that lives inside of it.
Is that what that was?
That comes out through its mouth? I don't know. It's like it's doing like an alien.
Right. But my favorite thing is that every time there's a kill, the cat. Okay, so whenever you see it just like lounging around or walking around the film, it's just a regular ass cat.
It's a beautiful cat.
It looks great. It's golden. You know, kind
it's
of that orange.
like a domestic long hair orange striped cat.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But then whenever there's a kill, it turns into like 4 times its size.
Oh
and
my God. It's like a imagine like a mountain lion on steroids. So it's got like uber thick muscles,
but still cute until the fucking crazy ass alien thing comes out of its mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
because it's still that orange color.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I had a lot of fun with this. I liked a lot of things about it. Number one, how silly the story premise is. That there's a radioactive cat with a monster that lives inside of it.
Right.
That dishes out justice based on your moral character.
I mean, yeah, but does it really? Because, I mean, at the end, though. Because he was trying to... I think he was just a pissed off cat.
Maybe it just likes to eat aluminium or aluminium for our listeners overseas.
We will say it the silly way.
I don't know. There was some weird stuff going on about the whole thing. I tell you what immediately was like, oh my God, I'm in. Count me in. Was the soundtrack. Like, just the background music for this. Like, funky, just fucking keyboard radio morning show.
It was beautiful.
Just the funk. They put it in real weird spots.
I was about to say, I feel like none of it belonged where it was.
No, but it was good.
Right.
It was good.
Because we can picture it where it does belong, and we're like, that makes
There's
sense.
a time and a place for that music, and I wish that I had the rights to it for a fake ad for the show.
We will find a way.
But it was not used properly.
No.
Not like I would use it properly. I would abuse it and make dick and fart jokes over it.
Well, I mean, there is also the music of whenever the cat is just walking around, just that little...
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I honestly, I think that was just like a guy in the studio. He had a crying baby. He was just trying to bring him down. And they were just like, that sounds creepy as fuck. Let's put it in this terrible, awful movie.
Good serial killer music. It's the Halloween theme.
With cats.
It's the theme from Halloween, but with a cat that has an alien mouth that comes out of it.
So
it's a lot of fun though. Like, I like the practical effect of the puppet cat with the thing that comes out of its mouth.
Right.
I think it's fun. It's fun looking. Like, is it dumb? Yeah, of course.
For sure.
Of course it's dumb. But it's kind of great at the same time.
Right. Well, I was fucking losing it because for one, I thought we were going to see some just straight up porn in there.
Yeah, and no porn in it to speak of. You get some you get like do you so tell me, if you're a lady out there and you listen to this podcast, please do write us. It's justdomovies@gmail.com. What I would like to know is, when you're unbuttoning your shirt, if you get to that point where like your shirt is unbuttoned down to your belly button and you have it spread open, but you're not revealing your nipples, is that still just called cleavage, or is that a different thing? Because it feels like it's on a different level, but it's still not, it's certainly not bare-breasted, which is why you didn't get it in this movie from 1988. But just for terminology's sake, I feel like that's a different move.
I agree. Let me mansplain something.
Okay, yeah, no, please.
So you have, like you were stating, your regular cleavage.
Right.
You're all buttoned up.
Yeah.
But then you've got a great show up top.
You got the top bit. So
right.
what's the whole thing?
So you let it all go. That's some new exaggerated form.
It's like the aerial view of the Grand Canyon instead of just like looking at the tip of it.
Right. It's like you go to you subscribe to Hulu, right? There's your cleavage.
Okay.
Hulu Premium.
Oh, that's your
there's your drop down cleave.
That's what that's called?
Right.
Okay, so that's called the Hulu Premium.
Right.
That's the nomenclature for it forever now.
Oh my God.
If you have a better idea, again, at It's Just a Movie, or It's Just a Movies at gmail.com, at It's Just a Movies on Twitter or Instagram. Feel free to add us. We don't get on Twitter very much, and by we, I mean me, because nobody interacts with me on Twitter.
I think you should really get on there. It's a mess. It's awful.
Right? That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's not.
Perhaps I will. Was there anything else about this movie that was just screaming out to you as this is awful in all the right ways?
Yes, there's a character. His name is Corey. Fuck me. And he's a very rich boy, I guess.
Oh yeah.
He looks very, stuck up rich.
He's
boy.
got his ascot.
Yeah.
Yeah, his pashmina Afghan.
Right. His dance moves were incredible. There's a point where he just puts his hands in his pockets and he just kind of tiptoes around. It just kind of looks like he's waiting.
They were so good that everybody else there mimicked his dance moves.
Right.
Because he was the first one to bust him out and everybody else is like, yeah, I'm fucking down with that. That's cool. What do you call that?
Oh, hands in your pockets?
Oh, hands in your pocket. The hands in your pocket slide?
Slip them in. Let's
go.
If
I was an American Indian, my name would be Runs with Hands in Pockets. So there's a lot of people getting bit by cats in this.
Yeah.
And if you were ever curious, are cat bites dangerous? Yes. Cat bites can be very dangerous. They carry a number of different bacteria in their mouth, capable of causing tissue infections. One of the more common, highly pathogenic bacteria is known as Pasteur.
Can I see it? Can I see it?
It's Pasteurella multocida.
I trust you.
Pasteurella multocida. Pasteurella Pasteurella multocida. Gotta be.
Somebody's gonna listen to this.
So anyway,
and they're gonna win a spelling bee because of it.
I saw a thing on Reddit a really fucking long time ago about it was like a today I fucked up.
Oh, okay.
And this guy's like, my cat bit me, and I fucked up by not going to the emergency room like right after it bit me.
Oh god.
Like my cat's normally very docile, and it bit me and it drew blood. Like it bit me hard, like deep. So I had a pretty good puncture wound. I put some triple antibiotic and a Band-Aid on it. And like the next day, my hand felt like it was made of glass.
Ugh.
So I went to the ER, and there's whatever the bacteria is turns the connective tissue in your muscles into like a wet paper towel kind of substance. Yeah.
Fuck.
So a cat bite is actually very serious.
Shit.
They just harbor nasty bacteria. It's like a lot of people are like, Komodo dragons. They're so dangerous and deadly and venomous. They're not. They just have a bacteria in their mouth that makes their bite infectious.
Jesus Christ. I think I'm afraid of all cats now.
Well, don't be afraid of like my cat. My old Karen, she's been on the podcast before. She's all right.
Has she?
Yeah, she's
been in this seat?
Yeah. Yeah, she's been on here. She sat for an ad spot.
Oh my god. Oh, I need to hear this now.
But I mean,
the only ad spots I've heard is Beats McCluster, and No Country for Birdmen.
Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, there's fucking Karen one out there. She's in
a cat.
She's a cat. She's in it, and there was cats in this movie.
There's our connection.
The Hollywood Nip. Meow.
Good evening. It's Tom Woodsonson, and I'm joined here with renowned vocalist, civil rights activist, and house cat, Karen. Karen, it's lovely to have you here in the studio today. You truly are a national treasure. So you're here to talk to us today about your latest novel? And it's generating quite the buzz. Already a 2 times New York bestseller. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you may even just purr. Pick up your copy of Scratching at the Post today at Brands and Nurbles. So Karen, tell me, does the main character Lisa reflect your own experience in the field of investigative journalism? Yes, of course she... Yeah, your time in Kuwait? Okay, so there are talks of Scratching at the Post getting a movie deal. Any comment on who you'd like to see play the leading role, Leopold? Really? Well, I do always enjoy John Malkovich on screen. Well, this has been delightful, Karen. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with us today. All right. Well, this has been the Hollywood Nip, and I've been Tom. I'm Tom Hollywoodson.
The Hollywood Nip.
Meow. Was there anything you would change about this to make it not stupid?
Oh, fuck. Walter Graham's overacting?
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah. I think the biggest one for me is probably, I guess, Clue Garner.
Who did he play?
I think that's the guy with the mustache.
Okay. So that's my guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the mustache guy.
Yeah.
He just was coming across all kinds of wrong. Actually, I thought most of the female roles were fine.
Yeah.
Some of the guys were a little dopey, but like what, what?
I like the Mike character, the one who got his like fucking ankle ripped out.
Oh yeah.
I liked him. He was no nonsense. He was kind of just, I just want to do my thing. If someone's gonna stand in my way, I'm gonna drown you in a hot tub. I enjoyed him.
Yeah,
I liked him.
I like the director. His all of his cameos. Graydon Clark.
Yes, those were great.
Because he's wearing like this mouth prosthesis.
Yeah.
He's like he's got false teeth on top of his teeth.
It's almost Austin Powers style.
He's talking a very like he's got a real thick. I'm having a great time.
Pretty sure he said "aye baby" at one point.
Yeah, aye baby. He just he's coming in real hot, and I'm appreciating it.
Oh, yeah.
The bit where the guy's drowning the other dude in the hot tub, and I'm like, that guy, talking about Graydon Clark, that guy's got an erection now. Like, just looking at his face, he's like, real thick glasses on. It's very funny. I mean, I guess if I had to change anything, Jesus, what? I guess I would just spend more money on making it look good. If you want to make it a profitable good property, though, and keep the bones, if you could, keep the bones. So there's a cat, something happens with the cat, and it's dangerous.
Okay.
What do you do to make that compelling?
Well, do we want to go recasting?
You can if you want.
Because
if you think that alone is going to make it more compelling,
alone,
then yes.
No, but as a factor, yes.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I would agree. Do you have just pretend the sky's the limit. You can get whoever you want. What would you get?
I would say playing Mike. Again, man who got his fucking Achilles heel removed. Paul Giamatti.
Okay. That's a perfect cast though. So I can't say anything about it.
Right.
That's great. David Wong.
What was his name? What fuck? Old bucket hat. Director guy.
Oh,
Graydon. Is it Graydon Clark?
Graydon Clark.
So him, I'm leaving him. I'm leaving him
Yeah.
and all 3 girls.
I maybe would make him stick around a little longer.
Oh, yeah.
Make something else out of his character besides he's just a weird guy who gets drunk once and then dies.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, he's good, I guess, comedic relief.
Yeah, he really is.
But I think we needed that more instead of that one bitch that just goes insane.
Yeah, she did just kind of lose her shit,
she was
didn't
really
she?
pessimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was getting big negative, small dick energy, as they say, I guess.
Well, I mean, I guess that's no dick energy.
I really like I tell you, one thing I would spend some more money on. Boom, got him. One thing I would spend more money on would be the model yacht where they're like, oh, the yacht's going down. Like it's clearly a model. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very clearly a model. It can probably still be a model if you spend enough money on it to make it look like obviously not a model.
Right. There was a lot of that because whenever they were in their lifeboat, like it did not move as if they were on waves. There's a huge storm at this part of the movie. So like there's waves and wind and whatnot, but whenever you see them in the boat, you can pretty much imagine there are just people on each end just like picking it up and dropping it.
It's
just
like
trying to rock
it's
it.
like some Mr. Rogers King Friday shit. You know,
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
You know what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. It looks very dry.
Yeah.
I like the bit with the cat, but I would have probably elaborated on it. How do you get a trained fucking cat like that though? Because how many cats did they use in Catwoman? Like 600 fucking cats or whatever it was when we watched Catwoman. A ridiculous amount. Don't look it up. I don't care.
Well, what I want to know is how many cats they used in this. You think they used just the one?
I think it might have been just the one. What was the budget for this? I got it. Don't even worry about it. Okay, here we go, baby. The numbers.
Oh, God.
Domestic box office. Jeez Louise. 28.5 mil.
What?
Yeah. 40, a little less than 43 million worldwide.
What was their budget?
I don't know. I'm looking it up. It's fucking crazy though.
There's no way that made that much money.
What it says is the numbers.com, baby. Oh no, wait, this is the Uninvited from 2009. Different movie.
Much
you
different
guys.
movie. That's the first one I looked up, and I was like, this?
I don't know. I can't find it. If you find the budget or box office information for this film, please write us at it's just two movies at gmail.com.
We need the numbers.
That's a joke. Nobody writes us for anything. Send me some hate mail. Tell me about how much you don't like me.
I actually thought about doing that on the days off. Not that specific idea.
I would read it on the show.
Well, what I've thought about doing is actually listening to the show and treating it as if it was one of the movies, taking my own notes.
Oh, yeah.
It
would be like, it was a bit derivative.
Well, actually, one of my favorite things is on the episode I was listening to right before I got here, you were trying to figure out what the head bridesmaid is called. Did you figure it out? Maid of Honor.
Yeah.
Maid
all
of
right.
Honor.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
There are so many times I'm in my car, I'm just like, it's this! It's this! But obviously you can't hear me.
Yeah, they don't fire on all cylinders. You can't win them all. They're not all home runs.
You guys did talk about the knife show, though. Just saying. And I remember the knife show.
Ching Chow.
Did you watch it, or was it just Bird?
I don't know. I think I did, but when he described it, I'm like, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's incredible.
Like, is that a YouTube video, or is it a TV show?
It was on
QVC type shit?
It's like a knockoff QVC, strictly for knives and swords.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like they're so horribly put together. Where they put their knives to display them is just in a trunk, like a tree trunk that they brought inside. And sometimes they'll do it, and it'll like knock off a couple, hit their finger. He's like, "Oh, that's a deep one. Oh, God, Jerry, come take over for me." It's like, "All right, well, we got these ones on sale for it." It's like, yeah, it's fucking incredible.
That sounds fucking awesome. And no, I don't know anything about that.
I'm not even sure if it's on anymore. We gotta find it though.
I'd be down for that.
Everybody find it.
Shit. Whoa.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start just taking notes on your show, and I'll send them to you, and you can make it a weekly segment. There you go.
That sounds good. We'll call it show notes.
Show notes now?
Show letter notes. Show.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Show note mail.
It's just one podcast.
Show note mail.
Show note mail?
That's what it's called. Show note mail. Probably not. I'll workship it. I mean, what else do you fucking say about this? It's ridiculous. It needs I kind of like the element of it being out at sea. But also it doesn't make a whole lot of sense as to why it is.
It was just because some rich guy wanted to have a party.
It's just happenstance. I guess it was just hot making shit on a boat in the 80s.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because you were on a boat, I guess. You got a couple of boats. You probably, I don't know how long filming took, but...
Well, I feel like it's either a boat or it's like an airplane movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's some type of ocean disaster or something.
You're in a limited area.
Or it's a Top Gun.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
So what would you, is there anything else that you would do to like raise the stakes, or you think this is just about on the mark?
Well, I mean, yeah, for that, I actually do enjoy that. The fact that like they ran out of food. The cat, got into the food, poisoned the food. You can't eat the food, so you're out of that. The boat isn't working. So you're literally just stranded in sea.
I'll tell you one thing that fucking irks the shit out of me is if I knew I was going to be stranded at sea and I had food and a very limited supply of liquid, I would be like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to eat every 5 days. And we're going to drink just a little bit every day. Yeah,
you saw their rationings. They were awful.
Yeah, and it was Champaign. That's all they had. They don't have a desalination station on that fucking boat. Get out of here.
Yeah, the lady said we're out of fresh water.
Two pots and a piece of pipe.
Yeah, I mean... And
you can make a desalinator.
Okay, did they have a kitchen there? Well, they had to. There was all that
dude
fucking...
was cooking. He's like, oh, yeah, no, I can cook. And they're like, oh, we gotta eat your cooking? Look at our Hulu premiums.
So, yeah, you can boil water. That's not hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on a yacht. I don't know nothing about that yacht life.
Yeah, I also don't know anything about that yacht life. Tell you this, I pilot the shit out of a canoe.
Nice.
And a yak. That's short for kayak if you're not from the Midwest and you're listening to this.
I'm from the Midwest.
States.
I've never heard that before in my life.
Like any of our people that listen to this outside of the United States, I would love to know if you've ever been like boating on a river, like made a day of it, got drunk with your friends and went on a river down a boat. I would love to hear if that's a thing culturally elsewhere, because we do it all the time here. It's like the number one summer thing to do. It's almost like going to an amusement park. You kind of have to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
See, last time I think we all went camping together. Didn't someone go down the river on an air mattress?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a common thing. I've seen they go to the shut-ins where it's that old mining spot that's just filled up with water.
Yep.
And people been out there before and they've tied like 6 air mattresses together.
Ooh.
And they just have like a floating island. I was like, that's pretty badass.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, they closed that place down though, the shut-ins.
Did someone die?
I think somebody else died. Yeah, a lot of people died out there.
Death will do something to your place.
It's not exactly safe.
And I mean, I guess that's a given. At least it should be, right?
Yeah. So what would you? Okay, as far as like if you had a cat, but then another cat came out of that cat and it gave you a thumbs up. How many of those thumbs would you give this for like a regular movie?
For a regular movie?
Just a regular, normal ass, like this or Die Hard. Something like that.
Fucking man. A regular movie. I am literally in between 0.5 and 1.
That's pretty close. Yeah, I think I was gonna go like 1.5, and I'm being pretty generous because I like the boat mechanic. Like you could make that, it's fine as it is. You could make that a whole lot more tense.
Right.
Being out at sea is a tense scenario Being in a plane crash is a tense scenario.
Right.
Jumping out of an airplane can be a tense scenario. Just those things physically can lend themselves to intensity. They didn't really capitalize on it.
Right.
I mean, a little. They did touch on it though.
But it was more the survival, like, inside aspect. Like, they're not worried about, like, fucking sharks or anything like that. Like, they're in their yacht trying not to go insane and trying not to starve to death.
They're getting chased to death by this horrible puppet monster.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally forgot that there was a murdering beast inside the whole thing. I'm just like, these guys are hungry.
They haven't eaten in days.
Right.
They're eating 9 cornflakes apiece. They're okay.
A little bit of buble.
They do get like 1.5 ounces of champagne, which is hilarious. Like, that's their liquid.
And Walter, of course, he calls it out. He's a very, what's the word?
Boisterous.
Thank you.
Mm.
That's the exact word that I was looking for.
Was it?
Nope, but I'll take it away.
It's a good one.
No, I think if anything could save this movie, it's just more of Bucket Hat Dude.
Yeah. And less of old mustache guy.
Old mustache.
There was a bit where I was like, man, if that guy's mustache peels off his face and starts flying around, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
Man, after you said, I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Never did happen, which it could have based on the other effects in the film.
Would you have been surprised if the cat came out of the cat and then just ripped that motherfucker's mustache off his face?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. It looked like it was ready to be removed at the end of filming for the day.
I will say there was one scene where that thing did look real. So I wonder. Yeah.
You never know. Could have been.
And if it was real, man, you just got a shitty mustache.
What would you give this as a bad movie though? Like based on a scale of it's so bad it's good.
Man, as a bad movie, I would probably say honestly like a 6 or 7.
I was gonna go.
It was fun.
I was gonna go 8.5. The biggest thing I appreciated about this is how breezy it was.
Yes. Like
it didn't feel like the full runtime. It had a couple of lulls in it, sure, but it's from 1988. So once I saw it when it came out and I saw the opening credits where it's just that long scroll of that building, I was like, okay, this is what we're doing this evening.
There was that fucking cool-ass scientist in the beginning because, they're all trying to catch the fucking cat. It got out of the lab, you know what I mean? And so he tells everybody, go out, get that fucking cat. And what is he saying to that guy? He's like, you need to go get the cat. He's like, it just escaped something. He's like, you shut up about that now. Like, he just straight up cuts him off.
We're not going to tell people that it's escaped.
Oh, that's right. That's
you
what
shut up about that now. just don't tell anybody
End
about
of conversation.
Yeah,
done.
It's like it's radioactive. So all those people would have died anyway, regardless of a bite.
And then he steals that cop's gun like a badass. And not steal as in, like, ran up and, like, took it away from him and got away. He literally walked up and said, give me your gun.
Give me your gun, and then proceeded to take it out of his holster.
Right.
Yeah, with force.
I think the cop was just going to give it to him. Like, he didn't have to be aggressive.
He just stood there like a fucking wet noodle wouldn't stand. Yep. I mean, so apart from that, is there anything else that you've been consuming or like any sort of media that you think other people might be interested in?
I did just start watching Sweet Tooth on Netflix. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it looks...
I am familiar with it. It is a comic book series.
Is it?
And as far as I understand, the Netflix series is a little more sedated than the comic is. Like, the comic's a little more gruesome and gritty.
Yeah, and I want that, though.
But a little. But I've also heard that the Netflix series is incredibly good, but I haven't watched it. So it is on my list, though. It's like it's something I really do want to check out. Is it?
Yeah,
Is it
what I've
good?
seen so far is pretty good.
Yeah.
I've only seen, because there's 8 episodes. I've only seen the first 2, I think. But Will Forte is in it.
Really?
Yes, and he's incredible. He is so fucking good because he's this this hybrid human deer kid's dad.
Oh, okay.
And basically, like, whenever there's this virus and, you know, it's basically killing everybody, so he takes and they blame the hybrids for the virus, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And so basically he has to hide his kid, and he takes him into the woods, builds this whole thing, and like tells him there's fire everywhere outside of the fence, so he doesn't go out there. But
sounds like a commentary on xenophobia.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And there are these points where like he has to, like, I guess, question people because he doesn't trust them, and he has to like leave his kid and go out and like fight people, and like he's such a good actor. Like he
Oh, dude, you ain't gotta tell me, man. I fucking love Will Forte.
yeah,
I love anybody that has that range of comedy
right.
can do drama. Whether or not they ever get cast in it, different story. But if you can do comedy that well,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that entire well of emotions is probably really close to the surface, and you can just pick and choose whatever you want to do on what day.
Right.
Comedy is an incredibly difficult thing to do because you always have to be willing to appeal to other people.
Yeah.
All the time. And his work on The Last Man on Earth
Right.
is one of my favorite, I think the most underrated series I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah, I think I saw the first season and then I stopped after that, but because I didn't like it.
If you ever want to get back on that train, it doesn't come to completion because it got stopped after like season 5 or 6, maybe.
Well, like just canceled.
Yeah, it just canceled, so you never got a resolution. But
No, I can't.
it is gold from 1 all the way up until it ends.
See,
it is all good. There's so many good cameos. Like John Hamm is in it for
right.
30 seconds.
See, I liked whenever I first started watching that, I liked the beginning when it was just him. And him, like, you know, going to that big house, and he's, like, got all these paintings. He literally uses the pool as a fucking toilet.
Oh, yeah, and then he meets Kristen Duchal or whatever it is. Yeah.
And like, I loved it whenever it was just him. Because I can see Will Forte literally doing a whole series of just him.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty much going through all those shenanigans. And whenever, like, other people started getting introduced, I was like,
oh no,
he's not the last man, you know?
Give it a couple episodes. It picks right back up into it because the show is more about like his flaws as a person.
Yeah.
You only get him by himself at the beginning and he seems fine. It seems kind of humorous and he's a little depressed, but you know, it's comical.
I didn't even think about that.
Once he gets into other people, though, he's still like that. He's still depressed, and he's still a sad sack, and he's self-destructive. But then they mix him with a group of other people, and it makes for good entertainment.
Well, I liked what I saw. What is it on?
Fuck, I couldn't tell you, man.
Probably on fucking Hulu.
Probably
or something.
Hulu. Yeah, it's probably on Hulu if I had to guess. But yeah, is there anything you wanted to plug again, or whatever you plugged at the top of the show? You want to plug it at the end?
Yeah, just a little musical project I got going, God-Sized and Growing. You can look it up on Apple Music and Bandcamp. Soon it'll be on literally everything else, so check it out.
Very nice.
I
love
appreciate it.
Well, there's one thing that I want to plug.
You guys aren't gonna start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that gold talk for a one-eyed Batman.
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Cousin, business is booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
Whatever dimension where everyone's just got their tits out.